Leaderboard, who's going to take it out? We're going to find out at the back end of Sunday.
Matt Swift is such an interesting character at the top of this division and at the top of this leaderboard as we begin event number 6. He won this division back in 2015, then took some time off, comes back here in 2018. I mean, the guy does martial arts too, 20 years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he does that kind of on and off as well, still gets on the mat from time to time, just to kind of prove that he can maintain his belt status as he goes.
Matt stays on the mat. He has got a triathlete background as well, and he has put that to good use over the number of years. He has competed in a team at the regional competition down at the Pacific, but he is a guy with a wealth of knowledge. He is a level 4 CrossFit trainer and runs the level 2, the CrossFit Masters, and also the CrossFit Olympic weightlifting seminars that happen right around the world. Swift there in the grey and the pink just coming to screen.
It'll be tough to tell who is in the lead at this point because of the staggered start to the run. So we'll start to get a feeling as things even out here once everyone gets through their rope climbs and onto the yoke. Nathan Lauren is the first one to get a rope climb in under his belt out of Vancouver in British Columbia. He was off last year, but he has been to the games now 7 times. A Masters in 2014 and 16. Former teams athlete too.
I'm loving the way Lauren is actually wrapping those feet around nice and early. He's getting those feet up almost as high as those shoulders. But I'd love that circle of the rope around that feet just a little bit quicker. Matt Swift doing just that with his feet, but spending a little bit more time on the descent, having the feet, the rope between his feet, whereas a number of athletes are just dropping straight down, as you see Nathan Lauren do it to the right of screen. And he will move on now to the first of the 44-foot yoke carries, and he will be the first athlete to get there. Closely followed by Swift, who's just putting on that weight belt.
It's a 480-pound yoke. It's about 56 gallons of milk on your back.
Noting what's happening to Nathan Lauren, he's tightrope walking. So those feet trying to stay in a straight line, whereas you need to get your feet a little bit wider. A wider base is going to make for an easier yoke walk, but in saying that, you need to get that support bar a little bit lower so the skids of the bottom of the yoke are a little bit higher so they don't dig into the ground.
All right, so Brent Meyer is the first guy who gets out for round number 2. Sneaks out from underneath Nathan Lauren and Matt Swift. Brent Meyer had himself a good morning as well. Finished 8th in the 1-rep max shoulder to overhead, and then he followed it up with a 3rd place in the Event 5 PS. So Meyer came in 80 points back in 5th overall, and as a taller athlete, good chance to make up ground climbing rope.
Big time. The issue that Brent's got is he's running out of rope climbs. We're going 4, 3, 2, and 1 with each round that they do. But if he can maintain the lead he's got, these rope climbs are going to be no issue, and he's going to find himself with more time on that yoke walk.
Again, it's a 300-meter run, 4 rope climbs, 44-foot yoke carry. 303.44, 302.44, 301.44. 16-minute time cap here at event number 6 as Meyer is back in. "18 feet up from the ground to the top of the rope, 20 feet all the way to the top of Zeus. This Zeus rig that runs 171.5 feet from sideline to sideline down on the turf. And look at Meyer. That's actually probably more pulls than I would have expected.
I think he's just conserving a little bit of energy on that 3rd pull, where it's almost a half pull. But he's just locking those feet in tight and not doing too much with his legs. Obviously, he can manage a fatigue throughout the whole event of the CrossFit Games. But this morning, those legs got hit pretty hard with those dumbbell squats. So minimizing the fatigue on your legs before you hit the yoke walk, all important as Meyer finishes up his 3rd rope climb and will come down to the 2nd yoke walk.
A little bit of a redemption tour here for Brent Meyer. He was first going into day 3 last year. Thrusters, not his wheelhouse. His heart sunk when he saw them, and he wound up in 2nd place. Matt Swift has been a champion as well. Competition for Meyer, who's moving that yoke. That was a much better walk than the first one.
It was, and he got into better position with those elbows when keeping that torso up. Same with Nathan Lauren. I think that first yoke walk surprises them a little with the fatigue levels, but once you come into the second yoke walk, they've got a better understanding of the balance of where the yoke needs to be. So the elbow position, really important. Pointing him at the ground is going to ensure an upright torso and a more balanced yoke as you walk it down. Meyer now off on the 3rd run, closely followed by Nathan Lauren. Only about 20 meters separating the two, but with Brent's longer strides, he will try and create some distance between the two of them.
Well, Lauren trying to close the gap, getting those knees up off the ground a little bit more than Meyer in front of him.
Now, there are only 2 lanes apart on the North Park, so the more distance that Meyer can put between the two of them, the better it's going to be, the more time he's going to have to set himself up for the yoke walk. He's halfway through. He's got 2 more yoke walks to do, and he's only got 3 rope climbs to do.
So this is a pretty true race when you look at it on the outside. This is pretty close to the distance they are apart. It is not always that way. You mentioned being close on the rig. Maybe somebody is closer to the exit and further from the entrance, etc., etc. So you don't really have a true idea of how close you are when you're running outside. For those 2, pretty good idea.
Once they do hit the yoke walks, because these rope climbs proving to be pretty easy for both these athletes, they're not spending a whole lot of time. Brent Meyer, center of screen now, about to start his first of 2 rope climbs and locking those feet in very well. If you can think about trapping or stepping on your own toes as the rope loops around your foot, it's a lot easier. Or stepping on your shoelaces, Nathan Lauren doing just that. Make sure that rope doesn't go anywhere. If that rope starts sliding, there's only one way you are going, and that is not to the top of the Zeus rig.
And it makes it a heck of a lot harder to do it again because your hands, you will be on the ground, but the skin on your hands will still be on the rope. And that is not a comfortable feeling. Lauren making his way back to the yoke. Meyer is behind him.
And Meyer with a bit of work to do in the last round, but Lauren looking a lot steadier left of screen.
Meyer's catching him, though. They're going to put the yokes down about 1.5 seconds apart. And now how will Meyer make up the time? He starts to jog. Now they're close together on the rig. However, Meyer is behind the spot of Lauren. So keep that in mind as they depart. And Lauren has a little bit of a lead. They are relatively equal in the scheme of things, even though it might not appear that way.
I can tell you what's going to happen. We are going to be in for a sprint finish once both these athletes come in from their last run. Lauren with about 8, can you say 8? 7 meters. Let's say 7.
It's very specific.
Pacific or specific?
Both. Specifically Pacific.
But Brent Meyer with an advantage of knowing exactly where Lauren is. Lauren, no idea at this stage how close Brent Meyer is to him, but Lauren just reaching into his pocket now and chalking up those hands. The amount of strategy that goes into these events does not just get to work, here's what you've got to do. Everything's laid out for them, but Brent Meyer has got some work to do to catch Nathan Lauren on this 4th and final round of the rope and yoke.
16-minute time cap. We are well away from that. 9.5 minutes as these two come back into the arena. Lauren trying to pick up the event victory. It would be his first here at the Games, his 2nd career. Cheering section back in Vancouver, British Columbia at his insurance agency. Wanted to give a special shout to his team that keeps that thing rolling while he's out pursuing his dreams here at the Games.
Funny thing just happened with Brent Meyer. He went to reach into his pocket to grab some chalk out, and there was none there. Is that going to be a factor in Meyer getting up? But Lauren...
Well, look at Meyer. He's not even on the rope yet. Lauren just touched. Lauren is down and off to the yoke.
Brent Meyer now, you'll see him start to move a little bit quicker down North Park, if his legs will allow him to, but it seems to be a bit of a struggle to get those legs moving.
Meyer may be content with 90 points here. Nathan Lauren in position to pick up a W. First time competing at the games in Madison. And Nathan Lauren with his second career CrossFit Games event win.
And we'll give him 300 points as well. You did say Meyer content with second. Content to lie there for just a little bit.
This is going to be a dynamic win for both of these two guys. Now the points will change nada between second and third. It's still third place value. But there's nobody else even coming from the rope to the yoke yet for that final 44-foot yoke walk.
And that battle between the two, Swift and Davis, is going to continue. But there's a lot of points being left out on North Park, as now Davis is on his way back now for his final yoke carry. And those legs struggling to lift off the turf here in North Park.
This is big because Davis has to hold Meyer off. So the fact that Davis can get in here in third place, he can keep Meyer at bay, but Swift's positioning becomes very important. Robbie Davis, the defending champion, looking to go back-to-back.
And that'll put him into 426 points. And that is going to close the gap between him and Matt Swift, who is just about to start the final yoke carry. Eberts is looking to cut that gap as well.
Look at Swifty just smoking right up the middle. Swift will come in fifth.
Jones just sneaking into fourth, 1 second ahead of Swift.
Sixth place goes to Chris Exaros. Seventh place to Artur Komorowski, the Polish rookie here at the games. 12:42 time cap here on the rope and yoke. You can see at the top of your screen the event description: 300-meter run, then a rope climb, varying numbers depending on the round. 44-foot yoke carry 4 times. Here's Luzzi, the Italian. Luzzi had a good morning for himself. Finished second in the Event 5 PS. He jumped 3 spots in the standings. Giulio Silvino is trying to make a move as well. Luzzi is done. That's an 8th place finish and 44 points. Silvino, his countryman, give him 9. Recovery becomes so critical after this. You look at the way guys' legs are just beat. They're going to have to come in tomorrow for a 3-event day, including an open water swim.
Great for the legs.
What has to happen over the course of the next 15 hours for these guys to get themselves back into shape?
They swim anything like me. I use my legs as a bit of a keel or a rudder.
Dog paddle.
It's an upper body swim.
And with a brief respite on the way, Ryan Taylor is done with the yoke carry. 12th place finish for the guy that can just go to Rogue whenever he wants to. Columbus, Ohio native.
The thing I find interesting, you look at the one event, Event 6, and you look at running rope climbs and yoke, and you think, hey, that's not too bad. But they have done a 1 rep max shoulder to overhead, and they have gone through nearly 21 minutes of pain earlier this morning with some rowing, ski erg, and also those dumbbell squats. So the fatigue level have got to be high for these athletes to be struggling as much as they are.
2 minutes from the time cap. Wes Schneider began the day in 6th place, but really struggled with a 17th place in event 5. Comes through in 14th here. Schneider had a great first day, has struggled a little bit here on day 2. The cap could become an issue here with 30 seconds left to go.
Bruce Thomas, Spanish Fort, Alabama, about to finish up. And that looks like a pretty good carry to finish off, and he will get under that time cap.
And Jason Miller has to hurry as the lone guy still out there on the field. Listen, he knew this was going to be a struggle. He won event 5 this morning and told us, I'm not a great rope climber. I had to get mine this morning. He got his. He ate this morning. And now he has 5 seconds in which he will just say, gentlemen,
I'm done.
It's been real.
It's been a great day, but I'm done.
Rope and yoke in the books for Masters men, 45-49.
Start off, hands in the air, cheering for their supporters. But very bunched until Nathan Lauren came out to a very early lead. He was just so efficient on those rope climbs. But Brent Meyer took that lead back and continued for the middle 2 rounds for the 3 and 2 rope climbs. Meyer started to struggle a little bit on that yoke, whereas Lauren was a lot more efficient, not just on the yoke, but onto the rope, where the efficiency of that rope climb got him onto that last yoke carry. And then a great race to the finish on the 3rd yoke carry. And then Lauren leading off on the last round, and Meyer just not able to do enough to bring it home. But Lauren, what a great result and a great last yoke carry, and doing enough for that 100 points and the event win.
Lauren's with Nikki.
5 seconds. That's a really strong finish for you here, Nathan. Coming into this event in 12th place, but ending out the day with a really positive note. How does that set you up for the future events here?
Well, certainly going with just 2 days left, we're about the halfway point, so it'd be nice to climb up the leaderboard a little bit before last days.
You have a massive amount of games experience. Your 7th year here competing. We've seen you with CrossFit Fort Vancouver on the team several times as well. How does your experience sort of help you when it comes to needing to climb up the leaderboard like that?
Oh, my experience competing, maybe that helps me, but the new venue, this is all brand new, so this feels like my first time all over again, so it's good stuff.
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Nathan Lauren picks up an event victory, and his Friday is in the books. About halfway through, he was right on the nose here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Lauren a winner, Meyer in 2nd. He closes out a solid day 2. Entered the day 5th overall. Comes out with an 8th, a 3rd, and a 2nd. Mover and a shaker. Robert Davis is the defending champion in 3rd. How about Chris Exaros, by the way? We haven't talked about him much yet this week, but he played hockey in Wisconsin. He played hockey here, this venue. He's back home, and he is sneakily in contention with 2 days remaining.
It's going to be great to see if Chris Exaros can move up from that 8th spot. But Swift and Davis are battling it out still. But a little bit of a shake-up coming.
Men 45-49. Rope and yoke is done. 2 days done. Halfway done. The CrossFit Games roll on here in Madison, Wisconsin. Turn our attention over to the Masters women's side. 35 to 39-year-old age bracket event number 6, the rope and yoke. North Park Alliant Energy Center here in Madison, Wisconsin. Our Australian expert, Jeremy Austin, Nikki Brazier is down on the field. Joel Godet, so glad to have you along with us here on a Friday. The sun's starting to poke out over North Park. And if it is the women's 35 to 39 division, it means Games champion Sam Briggs, although those are the standings, Jeremy, and she is not yet to be found. Had a good morning, but still 13th. Work to do to catch the Olympic gold medalist, Anna Tobias.
Anna Tobias showing she is dominant and she's been plowing on through all these events. But Sam Briggs, an event win and 100 points in event 5, but she did not move positions whatsoever. But we are now moving into event 6, and this is something right into Sam Briggs' wheelhouse.
Moving heavy things.
They're not moving heavy stuff yet.
Let's talk about exactly what heavy stuff she'll be moving. First off, running. 300 meters, you come back in, you climb rope 4 times, and then you're going to move a 44-foot yoke carry, 380 pounds on that apparatus. You're going to do it all again, but climb rope 3 times, and again, and climb rope twice, and again, and climb rope once, and you can do it all in less than 16 minutes. To the victor goes the spoils. Anna Tobias in lane 10. They're on the Zeus rig outdoors, so it'll be 2 people to a section, 2 people to a lane. 19 in this division. Take a look at the 2 we've got our eyes on. Number 1, Anna Tobias, she's in the lead. Number 2, Sam Briggs. At any moment, she could be in the lead.
Don't ever discount Samantha Briggs. She is in 13th, but 100 points. I think that's going to surge now and make her way up the leaderboard. But if Sam Briggs, and we know Sam Briggs as the Games champ from 2013, this sort of stuff is the stuff she loves running. I don't think it's going to be a yoke carry. It's going to be a yoke sprint, and she's going to run this thing down the 44-foot sections of North Park.
We talked to her about it this morning. You said yoke sprint. She laughed. And it wasn't like a funny laugh. It was like a,
yes,
yeah, you're right.
I'm going to do that. How else do you move a yoke if you don't sprint it? But she's out in front, bottom of the screen in the white and the blue tights, and really striding out. She knows she's got work to do. We're halfway through competition here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games for 35 to 39, a Masters division. But Sam Briggs, imagine doing that. You win an event, you get 100 points, and you don't move on the leaderboard.
Still in 13th place. You know, she's coming off that elbow injury, Sam Briggs. Fractured the joint, ruptured her medial ligament in her right elbow during the Open, wrapped it up to compete in the online qualifier, which is ungodly. The fact that she could do that and still make the games as a master speaks to her freakish athletic ability in its own right. The strength is the thing that is still coming back to that injury. It doesn't hurt. It's just not 100% 2013 champion strength, Sam Briggs, but she seems unencumbered right now climbing rope.
I did keep an eye on what Sam was doing with her training since the surgery that she did have, and moving was probably the biggest thing I noticed. She was just still going through range of movement with that arm and that elbow, but just not shifting the extra weight that she normally shifts. So this sort of rope climb movements, that's not going to be a major issue, nor will the yoke, and she is going to be the first person to the yoke, but the second one is Anna Tobias.
Sprint or run or walk?
Oh, she'll set herself, and she'll just do a little bit of a shuffle on the first one.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
Got that one right.
She'll warm up as she goes along, and she'll speed up over the 4 segments, but looking really strong. Anna finishing the yoke walk first, but Sam all the way down there at the far end of North Park will get that lead over Anna Tobias.
We saw Kelly Holm pushing the tempo as well. She departs in the purple leggings and blue top, leaving the stadium. There she is. Kelly Holm out of Minnetonka, Minnesota, and CrossFit Minnetonka began the day in 5th place. Last year's games, the first individual competition of her career. This is her second games appearance this year. She was 13th a season ago.
Sam striding out at bottom of screen and extending the lead over Anna Tobias, who's in the red and the black. But this is where Sam needs to make a move to ensure she does get that 100 points and close the gap to Anna Tobias. It's going to be an exciting race towards the end of Sunday if all of Sam's bad events, as she put them, are now out of the way.
Air quotes bad. Yeah. The thing with Sam Briggs, most normal people would say, all right, you got hurt. Why wouldn't you just take the year off, get healthy, come back next year? Sam Briggs isn't wired that way. She is a competitor at heart through and through, and she said to us honestly, look, I don't know what next year holds. I'm not going to waste a year at the CrossFit Games. I'm going to get healthy as I can. I'm going to get to where I can. I'm going to give it my go here, and then I'll see you back in the open division in 2019.
When you get a little bit older, you can't just take years off anymore. We're running out of them. I fully get it from Sam Briggs.
She's 36.
I know. But you can't take that year off. You haven't got the time.
7th CrossFit Games for Samantha Briggs on your left.
And she is done for the 3 rope climbs, the second round of the rope and yoke as she moves onto North Park. Get a feel for that first yoke carry. She will start to speed up, and look at that elbow position. Exactly what you want to be seeing, locking that core in. Those rippling abs of Samantha Briggs, ensuring that the yoke carry was very easy. We've seen it at the CrossFit Games before with the yoke. Anna Tobias finishing up her second carry. If it stays the way it is, Anna Tobias will move on to 480 points. But Sam will move into 286.
You know, we give Sam Briggs all the credit that she deserves, but let's not shortchange Anna Tobias in this as well. Obviously, her pedigree is there from being an Olympic athlete and an Olympic gold medalist, but she has the pedigree in CrossFit too. The leader's white jersey, when it was first brought around, yeah, Sam Briggs, coming into this year's games, had worn it more than anybody. Anna Tobias was the first person to ever wear the white leader's jersey. Look at Briggs go. Tobias is chasing her, but Briggs...
Or is she chasing her? Sam, you just go. I'm just going to do my own stuff back here. That's a massive lead now.
She looks like she's running conditioning tests.
That's almost half of the 300-meter run, and there's still 2 to go.
What's she doing, shaking her arms out there, trying to get some life in it before she climbs the rope?
I spoke to a few athletes after the ski erg and the row this morning, and they said their arms were pretty busted up. So come into an event like this where you've got to use your arms again to pull your body weight up the rope. So they're just trying to shake it out and let those muscles loosen up just a little bit. And the way that Sam Briggs runs, it wouldn't matter what she did with her arms, she'd still propel herself forward at a fairly good rate of knots anyway. But looking really comfortable on the 3rd set of rope climbs, just ensuring she did get that touch. And the judge pointing the way for the 3rd of 4 yoke carries.
It's a 380-pound yoke. You can do the quick math in your head. It's the equivalent of throwing anywhere between 19, basically 19, 20-pound med balls on your back and walking 44 feet.
For the conversion, it's about 172 kilos, but it is no issue for Samantha Briggs, who is now starting her last round as a 7-minute mark ticks by. This is going to be a quick time. Probably the quickest we're going to see over every division.
We were impressed with the men when they got it done in under 10 minutes. Sam Briggs might get this done in under 9. She's going to have to hoof it around North Park. She's got a shot, though.
She's got a great set of getaway sticks, which will get her round, and now she's starting to lap a number of athletes, which just proves how quick she is going. We're talking 16-minute time caps. We're not even at half of that yet.
If Sam Briggs can get back inside the arena, it's going to be tough for her to get to 9 minutes. But 9:30 is certainly feasible.
I'm going to call it now. She's going sub-9. Anna Tobias starting off her last 300-meter run.
She's about 200, 150 meters back, though.
Not that it matters. She's been so consistent. First, sixth, first, eighth, and a second.
The Argentinian Jimena Delamere was right behind Tobias there. Here comes Briggs. You called it, sub-9. Briggs has 40 seconds to make you a winner, Jeremy.
Come on, Sam, don't let me down here.
Well, if she goes with a Yoke sprint, she might get it done.
The touch at the top of the Zeus rig for Samantha Briggs. And with 20 seconds, it's going to be tight, but she will not get sub-9.
She'll get sub-9:15. That's for certain.
And even though she doesn't have to push the envelope right now, she doesn't care. She just wants to get this done.
This will be 100 points for Samantha Briggs, standing in 13th place coming into this.
Great wide positioning of her legs and those skids staying really parallel to the ground. This is a girl who knows how to move a yoke, and move it she has. And 100 points for Samantha Briggs, which will propel her into 286 points. And we'll put her in the top 10 for the first time.
Entered in 13th place with 2 days of work to go. 3 events on Saturday.
Tobias, gold medalist in sailing, going back to that in 2020.
You know, we talked about sailing and how it translates with Tobias as well. You know, she's sailing on a boat. She is not going to be on a boat here at the CrossFit Games, although you never know in one of these years.
Never discounted.
Tobias, she finishes sub-10. But the thing that does translate, when you go to sailing competitions, they're multiple-day grinds. Anna Tobias is just getting started. She knows how to compete for a week at a time.
Oh, and the mental strain. She's used to that sort of stuff. Putting herself under so much pressure and backing it up day after day. And some of these ladies are now really starting to struggle.
Kristen Pedri is at the bottom of the screen in the blue, an individual competitor at the Games a year ago. Has not performed the way she would have liked this year. Pedri came in 7th to this event. That was after she put up a strong 4th place finish in both the 4th and 5th events this morning.
Helena Falk coming in with 4th position then. Another great result for her. She's currently sitting behind Anna Tobias.
Here comes Kelly Holm now. And Holm is done. She was in 5th place to begin things. Sarah Scholl got in ahead of Falk, so she'll get 5th place in the event. That'll be a 6th for Holm. $16-minute time cap in this 4-round event. This is Jenna Larson going for her final yoke carry.
Notice those elbows just pointing behind her body, adding a little bit of extra strain to that yoke carry. Always under a little bit would make it a lot better, but at this stage, they're just happy to get over the line. But Larson finishing up just under 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Colleen McQuaid right in behind her. 8 finishers. There's Renata Pimentel out of Fortaleza, Brazil. Pimentel finishes in the pink. Elia Navarro in the blue got in just in front of her. Navarro making her way from Valencia in Spain.
Now positioning here, head down, elbows back, that's going to put a whole lot of extra strain on that lower back. The fatigue really off the charts for Trojanowski.
Began the day in 3rd place, began the event in 3rd place, so that will be a suffocating 11th for Trojanowski's hopes, although maybe still in the area of a podium as we go into Saturday.
Getting that yoke centered in the middle of your body or your midline position, the keys to success on a yoke carry, and there we see it. Seems like an era ago that Sam Briggs finished.
about 3 minutes, 4 minutes ago.
4 minutes ago.
Almost a quarter of the event. That's how far ahead the engine was.
That's why she had a smile on her face when we spoke to her this morning. Today was a lot better for her than day one of competition on Wednesday.
Less time under tension for Briggs, too. Myra Brandt, she came in 4th, so the leaderboard up top will get shaken up a bit. Tobias did her job, but Folk comes in late. Trojanowski, Brandt come in late.
And a big tear on the leg from those rope climbs from Myra Brandt. An open wound from a rope climb is not what you want to have, especially with 2 days of competition remaining. People worry about their hands on the way down from the rope climb, but got to be wary of where your leg position is as well. So clamping that rope, not always the best idea.
Bostonians, cover your ears. Katrina LeClaire out of Yankee CrossFit in Farmington, Connecticut is out on the run. First appearance at the games ever, never as a spectator. Wanted to make it as an athlete, and she has this year. 1.5 minutes left in the time cap. There's Chastity Snowden down in lane 1. She too, in her first event to the games. She was another that said, listen, I'm not going unless I make it as an athlete on the floor. Knows the date she started CrossFit, April 7th, 2013. This means the world to Chastity Snowden.
And obviously very stubborn if she's only going to make it if she comes to the games.
Listen, it took time, but she did it. Then she's in about 2 minutes ahead of the time cap here in event number 6. Two more competitors out there. The Argentine, Jimena Delamere, is one of them. She came in 6th place. So again, you get a shakeup at the top of the leaderboard here. Delamere in its 16th now, with Snowden in its 17th. And Katrina LeClaire, with everyone cheering her on, will get in and round things out in 18th.
And time for a sleep.
She's gone all night. Done for the day.
But that's only 2 days down. We've still got 2 more to go.
Sam Briggs slowly moseying her way back into contention.
She hasn't moseyed today. She was off like a scared rabbit to start with. The rope climbs was probably her worst movement of the 3. We know she can run. We know she can move heavy weight under load. But so efficient, locking those feet in. And this is the place she would have rested. The last of the yoke carries, Samantha Briggs. That positioning for that yoke almost perfect, especially after 9 minutes of work. But very happy with another event win. That's 2 for today and 200 points. Moving on up.
Let's get on to Nikki with Sam. Nikki.
Congrats. Another event win. I know we talked earlier today, you said going into this event, you knew it was definitely going to be in your wheelhouse, but when you look over and you see Anna Tobias is trying to catch up to you, how, if at all, does it change your plan?
I knew that I had to go hard on the run because she's a rope climbing ninja. I've made the mistake in 2015 when we were in Atlanta region together with Tommy V. I think she went unbroken on all the leg lists all the way through. So I knew she'd be a force on the rope, so I had to push elsewhere.
Now, the last time we had you on the broadcast during regionals, you were in a sling. You were helping us on the analyst side because you were still dealing with your injury. After 2 full days of competition, how is your elbow feeling?
Yeah, it feels good. There's no pain now. It's just obviously not at full strength yet. But the events that I can push, I'm going to be here to try and kill. And the other events is kind of damage limitation at the moment.
Well, looking forward to seeing what happens. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
2 event wins, and that's not full strength for Samantha Briggs, the engine from England. She's done herself a lot of favors today and moving up from that 13th position on the leaderboard.
Events she's going to kill. That's aggressive.
Is she going to kill people or kill events? Let's just hope it's events.
Go with events. She slaughters event number 6. Topples Anna Tobias, who came in with the lead. Tobias does earn herself 90 points for her 9 and 52 seconds of work. Kirsten Pedri, who we mentioned, didn't have a great day 1, has had a good day 2. 4th, 4th, and a 3rd now. Elena Falk keeps herself in the podium conversation with that 4th in the event. Let's move it up a level. 40-44 women rope and yoke next. Masters women's event number 6, division 40-44. It's the rope and yoke here at North Park, Alliant Energy Center, the city of 4 Lakes, the capital of Wisconsin. It's Madison, Wisconsin. The second year the CrossFit Games have made an appearance here in Wisconsin. It's Jeremy Austin, Nikki Brazier down on the hot turf here in Madison. Joel Cadet, glad to have you along with us. The rest of our CrossFit crew, so glad you chose to spend some of your Friday watching some Masters action with Stephanie Roy. A 12-point lead. Kelly Friel really had a good morning, made things interesting.
Interesting it has been. Joey Kimden, another name in the top 3 we're used to seeing.
How about Anna Caldis, too?
Not a great day 1.
Terrible day 1.
Let's say it's terrible. But moving on up into 8th position.
Let's take a look at what they're up for here in event number 6. 4 rounds per time. You run 300 meters, you climb the rope 4 times. You carry a yoke that weighs 380 pounds, 44 feet. Then you do it all again, but you only climb rope thrice. You do it all again, you climb rope twice. You do it all again, you climb rope once. And if you can do it in under 16 minutes, 100 points could be yours. Jessica Martinez got an event victory earlier on today. She will be in lane 1. Stephanie Roy, your leader, in lane 10. Keep an eye on Joey Kimden as well. She has come in 2nd at these CrossFit Games.
2 girls we want to keep an eye on. There's only 12 points separating 1 from 2. Kelly Friel doing very well for her rookie appearance here at the CrossFit Games, but chasing down The
difference,
champion from last year, Stephanie Roy, 35-39, moving up a division now.
The difference in those 12 points, 10 points separates first and second, second and third. 8 separates third from fourth. So keep that in the back of your mind as they take off on this 300-meter sprint. Staggered because of where they start, but if you start closer to the starting point, you end further from the finish point. So it all evens out in the end.
We've got sort of 3 bunches of athletes at the moment. 2 in the lead and then the majority of the rest of the field in the middle. And spectators running around at the same time to try and keep up with them in the North Park. But first of 4 rounds, 300 meters to run first. The staggered start will start to filter out as they move into position. So you won't really get a good idea until those yokes start to get moving up and down North Park. The 44-foot yoke carry.
Being taller usually lends itself to climbing rope better. Sarah Franklin is